Now to get up here. I'm standing up. That's better. The last time I was up with a microphone in front of our players, I was singing Care of the County by Kenny Rogers. So you'll be pleased to know it's been Diet Coke tonight. Welcome everyone. It's great to see such a terrific turnout. So many FC Edmonton fans and people supporting the club. It's a privilege to be here on our 5th anniversary, with the 5th birthday. And I think it speaks volumes for, first of all, our ownership with Tom, Dave, Fath. I think it's fantastic that the club has survived some pretty turmoil-filled years, and hopefully there's a light at the tunnel for us, and that we're building something for the future, the long-term future, for FC Edmonton and our city. We're trying to develop a culture within our club, from our young players all the way through. During the off-season, we've been very busy setting up pre-season training, as well as the signing of 6 players that we believe will add a great deal to what is already a very competitive squad. The changes that we have tried to make in the off-season were largely based on adding experience as well as quality. I went to the Soccer Bowl final and watched the Atlanta team playing against New York Cosmos, and the thing that jumped out at me watching the game was the quality and the experience that was on the park. So bringing in some more experienced players, certainly not old players by any stretch of the imagination. The players are all in the prime of their career. That's going to enhance what we've already done and what we've worked very strongly with our youth program. And we're building once again for the future. The quality that is in the squad now is going to give myself, Jeff Paulus and Darren Walsh and our goalkeeper coach some headaches, and from a team selection point of view. So starting Monday morning, starting Friday, the guys know that it's game on, that people are playing for jerseys, and that competition as well as quality hopefully will help us bring a very, very competitive team this season, hopefully a championship. So thank you very much everyone tonight. Thank you again, Tom, for your phenomenal support, and Joanne as well, our loyal supporter there. It's fantastic, and we're very grateful for your support. So thank you very much.
You want to come back up and introduce me too? Either way.
I think everybody knows me wrong.
Oh, everybody knows me wrong. Colin, I need this as much as you do. We made that wonderful announcement a few days ago about our 6th reserve, and I think our 5th coming out of our high school program. And as I said, we put the short guy in between us. He's 6'4". So Colin and I were down here, and he was up here. It was great. Seems like a very nice young lad, and it'll be good. And that's what you wanted. And said, you know something about defense, don't you, Colin? A little bit. So it's exciting. It's exciting going into our 5th year here. When we first started this journey, I was doing it for the community. We were doing it for the community, my brother Dave and I, and really didn't have any idea what we were moving into, because as I say, I wasn't much of a soccer guy. I found out what a red and yellow card are now, and all those important things, and I'm enjoying it. So one of the things that makes it exciting as a game and to come out is the fans, and the fans, especially ones that are somewhat loud, in the stands, and a lot of the people here are more vocal than others, and that's great, because that'll keep bringing more people out. Shh, yeah, supporters group. We don't want you to shh at the games, and so one of our missions this year is to fill the stands. When we're talking to the city about a new turf now, because we really need something without football lines at our games. Football lines are for football teams on their games, and that's easy to do in today's technology. You just scrub off the old lines, put in new lines, it's no problem. So when we're talking with the city, one of the fundamental things that they're concerned with is how many people are coming, what's the need. And as we move towards a stadium for us as the central anchor, it would be used for lots of things. The city needs a mid-sized stadium. They don't have anything between Clark and Commonwealth. Well, that's too big a gap for a city that's this large. So we need to fill the stands. But another thing to everybody to remember, we also need more sponsorship. So I was thinking today about a couple of things. One is, if you have 100 people, and each of them gets 4 friends, right, to buy tickets, or one friend to buy 4 tickets, I guess, then you've got 500 tickets, don't you? And if each of those 500 finds 4, 2,000. Now, each of those finds 4, right, at 8,000. And then each of those finds 4, oh, well, we need an MLS-sized stadium, don't we? So with 3 or 4 iterations of 4, just think of that, how many that means. So what I'd like to think about is, if we have everybody think of a challenge for themselves of who they can talk to encourage to buy tickets, but if they own a company or know somebody that owns a company, to try and encourage that company to support us. Or if they're just working at a company, which is great, then to consider having people that are working at companies to ask their bosses, hey, have you thought about sponsoring FC Edmonton, buying tickets or running a sponsorship? I have so many people that come up to me I go to a lot of corporate events and that sort of thing. And as Joanne says, going out like a billboard. And it's no wonder people talk about soccer with me, I guess, because I guess it's sort of obvious. But how many people think it's a great thing for our city? So now it's just getting them to commit to it and to do it. So that's one of the goals. And especially this year and next year, we got the under-20 women's here. And our women are doing so well nationally and internationally. So that is going to raise the whole level. And then next year with the Women's World Cup, I got to know Bob Lenarduzzi a little bit, president of the Whitecaps, because the Whitecaps were in the NASL the first 2 years that we were. And then they moved on to MLS. But he was talking about Canada, because he played in the 94, I think 94, wasn't it, Colin, in the States? 86. Oh, you see, I can't even get that right. The 86. So the 86 World Cup, and he was saying how much of a difference that made in Canada, and I've heard also independently in the States. It was a game changer for soccer in North America, and we're going to be getting some of that here, especially in a local setting, as people get excited about the quality of the soccer, the women's soccer that's going to be coming here. We can help ride that wave. So it's a challenge for everybody. But what a team we're going to have this year. We were best in the league last year on defense. Most of our defense is still here. Most of our team people are still here. We still have 12 Canadians, and so that's a huge number. We've got more Canadians than any of the other teams put on the field at a time. But so now with more offensive power and with some changes in midfield, it's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be really great. So thank you all for everybody for coming, because if you have a soccer game and there's no fans in the stands, not quite the same. And what's it like for players, Colin? Players, what do you think? A little bit of difference if you've got some fan support? Yeah. And supporters group, thank you. And your next rod. Or no? Oops.
Sure.
Yep. No, I better. Protocol. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you had an opportunity to read through the brochure, we will just go through meet the players, icebreaker, and reveal all the. I know everybody's dying to.